Here in Pennsylvania, we've got 300 years of history of doing terrible things to our water. There's a lot to overcome. And the new influx of Marcellus gas drilling in the state is creating this whole new challenge on top of that.
There are very well organized interests that don't want to be told that they have to clean up their pollution. And one of the things that's happened in Washington is that opponents have the ability to hire lobbyists and to make campaign contributions, and those things are very important tools for industry in Washington, D.C. And so right now, the Clean Water Act that we've had for 40 years and has made so much progress is under attack.
These aren't easy problems. These aren't things that are going to be solved by a short campaign where you talk about how important the Bay is. This is something that's going to be worked out over the next generation. And that's a lot of budget cycles, a lot of elections, and so it needs to be a long-term, sustained effort.
In 2008, a number of the members of the Chesapeake Funders Network decided that we wanted to begin to help organizations coalesce, the larger organizations that have the ability to get into Congress, but they don't have the local knowledge that a particular congressman might expect on an issue, the regional groups that don't play always as deep, and the local groups that may want to affect national change but really don't have the time or the energy. They're too busy keeping the light bulbs on. So we thought it would be important to strengthen environmental improvement action to try to get those groups together.
It was the Chesapeake Bay Funders Network that brought a small group of people together to have a conversation about putting together a coalition. In May of 2009, on Capitol Hill, launched with 60 organizations as Choose Clean Water. We have so many assets in the Chesapeake Bay community that I felt like the coalition was really just about finding all of them and pulling them together.
When we first got together in the room to form the coalition, we really had no idea what the final result would be, right? We had high hopes, but you also have lots of different organizations that have their own interests. And so the question from the beginning was, will this group be able to work together effectively?
You know, everybody can say they support clean water, but what has been interesting has been our ability to work with the very local organizations that have credibility in communities.
It's doing a really good job of reaching into communities and building bridges. So my sense of the coalition is that it has the potential to reach an enormous amount of people through this outreach into other communities.
For the Delaware Nature Society's perspective, the expertise of the coalition and the support that the coalition offers, we could not have done the work that we have been able to do without that.
We're all grappling with stormwater fees and such an important piece of the policy to clean up the bay. We tried to figure out how to communicate about the importance of stormwater fees individually. We'd just be reinventing the wheel over and over again. But the coalition has brought communications expertise in and is helping all of our organizations.
Take care of your local water. Take care of the Anacostia. Take care of the Juniata, whatever your favorite river is. And if people get engaged, and people say, I'm going to take ownership for that water body and I'm going to restore it. And if we do that all around the Bay watershed, the Bay takes care of itself.
People are becoming literate about water.
Use water as an organizing concept. Use clean water as a social movement. Use clean water as a way to address public health issues. Use clean water as a way to address economic issues. So in many ways, water can do that, but you have to not just focus on the ecological, the natural systems component. You have to focus on the people who are connected to those natural systems as well.
What we have been able to do is create a really special place for people to have conversations. Not all of them easy conversations, but I think there's a lot of trust within the community, and I think the coalition played a role in developing that.
The Choose Clean Water Coalition has been an indispensable partner in working with us on our efforts. Because of the partnership between the coalition and the Chesapeake Bay caucus here in the Congress, we were able to accomplish our goals.
All the money in Washington cannot buy progress if citizens are willing to step up. And so what I want to do within the Choose Clean Water organization is to inspire citizens to chase their congressman around or chase their senator around and just say to the senator or the congressman at every opportunity, what are you doing to help me get my clean water? What are you doing? And I can tell you from my own experience as a congressional staffer that my boss used to come back from town meetings in church basements and say, you know what, Bob told me this, or Harry told me that, or Susie or Jane told me this or that. And that influenced him much more than any lobbyist could. And that's what we have to accomplish. We have to get citizens who are willing to chase their congressman around and talk about clean water. If we do that, there aren't enough lobbyists in the world that can tear down the Clean Water Act and take away our protections for clean and healthy water.
What has been extraordinary, and even in our wildest hopes we didn't anticipate, was to create a coalition of a size and diversity such that collectively, more than 200 member organizations of a coalition, but those organizations have more than 1 million unique members, individuals, throughout the watershed, which means that 1 in every 17 people that live in the Chesapeake Bay watershed are a member of a group that's part of the Choose Clean Water Coalition.
When I work with the coalition, I come back very excited and recharged about my own work, and that to me is really one of the strengths of working in this partnership.
This has got to stay on the front burner of policymakers' radar screens, and the folks like the coalition are the ones that will make that happen.
If the public's participating and they're doing their share, they're going to put the pressure on us to make sure we do our part. And that's the only way this is going to happen.
Policymakers now respect the coalition because they understand who they are. 5 years ago, I'm not sure I would have thought that the Choose Clean Water Coalition would have been an organization that would have been quoted by the Secretary of Natural Resources in Maryland in his comments about why something should change.
What I was hoping, and our hopes have come true, is that the Choose Clean Water Coalition would be a vehicle for all the different voices in the Bay watershed to come together as one when they're advocating before Congress or other efforts within the Bay watershed. And that was the hope, and that has become the reality.
I have no idea whether the stars will come together, but I've got to get over to a hotel in Washington where people are gathered together because they want to make a difference. They want to make a difference for 300 million people who live in this country. They want to make a difference for children to be able to drink decent water and not have to go around buying water that's more expensive than gas. And I said, we can do better than that. I'm going to talk to the people who are going out there to make a difference for every one of us. That's what it's all about.